2025 shortages are no joke. This year we have seen more people in a panic. But as all of us that have been prepping for a while know that there's a lot of staple items that we need to pick up immediately because the panic buyers will be setting in. The top shelf-stable foods, and some of these items are not shelf-stable. It comes to no surprise that right now in 2025 we are going to be heading straight into shortages nationwide and worldwide. With wars going on in other countries, all of our economics being impacted immediately, these are some of the items that I have picked out that are perfect for you to add into your prepper's pantry, your rotational pantry, and just to be stocking up in general. Some of these items are shelf stable and some of these items are more of a necessity now than ever before. We're going to jump straight into these. Every household should be stocking up right now as we speak, because in the next month we're going to start seeing a lot of shortages peeking their heads out. Not only the egg shortage of 2025, but there is going to be so many more things that are going to be in a shortage. Whether it is the drug shortage with the tariffs with China, making sure you stock up on antibiotics, the shortage of food in general, and the labor. Number one, right off the bat, we're going to go straight into it, is canned goods. They are shelf stable, convenient, affordable, and undeniably long shelf life. They are available when fresh produce is not available. Fresh produce will wither away very quickly. If you do not have the means to preserve your own fresh produce, you're going to want to stock up in the canned food section. You have also canned meats, canned vegetables, canned food, canned fruit, canned soups, canned milk. The list of canned varieties go on, but we saw very quickly with the pandemic how quickly the shelves emptied with the canned foods. The convenience of canned foods makes it so much easier to just grab and go. Protein, having shelf-stable protein, canned protein, whether it is tuna, canned chicken, canned pork, they are all a necessity. Whether you are canning your own food, which is an essential skill that every prepper should be learning how to preserve their own foods, or if you're just learning in that process, I still recommend you go to the store and you pick up canned goods, because those canned goods, once they are gone, we're going to start seeing those shortages again and empty shelves nationwide. Number two, rice. The long shelf life of rice will help you be able to stretch out your budget. We know right now our nation's about to see a food crisis like they've never seen before. The last 15 years, the way our economy has been going, it only can go up, and the prices can keep inflating for so long until the economy will completely crash down. Rice is a very simple thing that you can add into your food storage. Very simple. You can actually preserve it, whether you're using buckets or mylar, to make your rice last for decades versus months. But one bag of rice can feed a family for over a month. So think about that on when you go to the store the next time. Pick up some rice, get that onto your shelf. Number three is going to be flour. Flour is a baking essential. You can make your bread. You can bake baked goods. You can also make noodles. Flour is an excellent thing to be adding on to your food storage. Now with the war with Ukraine does export, and so does Russia. If you guys did not know that, they do export a lot of grain. While the United States has its own wheat, farmers have been subjected to penalties over the last 5 years that has caused havoc, along with our environmental havocs on our system. So it's no surprise when we think that flour could potentially be a shortage. Whether you're stocking up on wheat berries or flour can be placed into a freezer. When you place it into a freezer, you take it out, let it sit at air temperature for a week. Make sure it's completely dried out and there's no condensation or moisture inside of it. When you know for a fact that your flour is completely dry, you can store that up in buckets or in mylar with oxygen absorbers to preserve that shelf life for decades. And your family should be having a lot of flour in their necessities in their life. We use flour every single day when we are baking sourdough and making bread and cookies and all those things. So if there is another shortage that is about to creep up on us, flour is excellent to put inside your preps. Sugar. We see this time and time again. Number 4 is sugar. Sugar always ends up being on the panic buyer's top of their list. And why is that? Because it's a sweet treat. You add it into your baked goods, your cookies, your food. It is amazing. But sugar also is used in food preservation, whether you are making your jams, your jellies, any of those kind of foods that you are canning. Number 5, pasta. As prices of food continue to grow, pasta is an excellent source of food for you. It is cheap. You can make your own, but with the egg crisis right now, not a lot of people are going to be able to make their own because they do not have their own chickens. But pasta, excellent to stock up on, has a very long shelf life. Number 6, salt. Need I say less? It has a never-ending shelf life. It is perfect for you to have in your pantry, and it is used often with food preservation, whether you are salting meat or you are canning. I use a ton of salt when I am pickling and canning. Salt is excellent to add to your shelf. Number 7, this is not shelf stable whatsoever, but is a necessity. As we have seen, the avian flu has gotten much worse and egg prices are shooting up. And I hate to hurt people's feelings in this, but a president did not cause your egg prices to go up. What happened is the avian flu had huge spikes back in October, which every time one of those chicken farms gets a case of the avian flu, they have to wipe out an entire flock, which is causing a skyrocketing prices in our eggs and in chicken. So right now is the time for you to be going to your local feed stores and picking up baby chicks. Now keep this in mind. A lot of people are going to show up at those stores and pick up chickens. They do not realize that chickens take a long time to start producing eggs, up to 6 to 8 months, depending on which breed of chickens you have. Here at our homestead, we already have chickens, so we already have not been impacted by the egg crisis, but having eggs is a necessity for you and your family. The reasoning why is protein. As prices for food continue to skyrocket, protein prices are going to skyrocket. When you can fall back on your own egg supply and be self-sufficient, you are no longer reliant on the system such as big box stores. Number 8, let's get straight into it. Seeds. With food shortages at an all-time high, we are going to start seeing seed shortages, which is going to impact us. So making sure that every single person has started their own victory garden. This year is more important than ever for you to have a garden so that you can grow those foods and you're not reliant on the system. So I have right here, I'm going to be showing you guys, I have my seed binder. My seed binder is filled with seeds. I am constantly growing food here at the homestead. At our property, we are actually working on putting our own food system out there, but you can store seeds for a very long time. Now, if you're thinking end of times kind of thinking, you can always get yourself a seed bank. A seed bank is great. It has a 10-year shelf life, and that is for those just what ifs. But making sure that you're going to your stores and picking up your seeds and starting your garden this year is more important than you could imagine, because as these food prices and grocery prices continue to go skyrocket, you are going to be impacted by that. So rather give those big box stores your money when you go to get produce. It's a much better idea for you guys to think about preserving, growing your own food. Number 9, baking soda and baking powder. And the reason why these are so important, they are essential for baking goods, but at the exact same time, they do have a never-ending shelf life. So if you are in a bind, understanding that baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, which lasts forever, and baking powder is sodium bicarbonate with cream of tartar. So having those two combined together creates your baking powder. So stocking up on those is essential for you to have a successful shelf life and baking life with your prepper's pantry. Number 10, this one is an easy one for everybody to know. Beans. Beans have a source of protein and they are good. They can be stretched for a long time. Dried beans have a very long shelf life. They can be stored in mylar. They can be stored in buckets, but they have a very long shelf life and they can help stretch your food budget. So as we start to see more food shortages and people become more desperate, it is very wise for you to start including beans into your prepper's pantry. Number 11, last but not least, it's going to be sourcing meat from your local farmers. As we start to see prices to continue to increase and more shortages, especially with feed shortages, it would be wise for everybody to find farmers to buy from versus buying from the big box stores. I don't know why some people are still buying meat at the store right now. The prices have increased every single day for the last 6 years, and when is enough is enough. Go to your local source. You're going to pay for a flat fee, but sourcing your own meat, whether it's hunting or buying from a local farmer, is very important as we start to see food crises. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Please leave a comment of what you think is going to be a shortage coming up soon. Stay prepared, stay aware, and always have your head on a swivel.